Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. On our screen is a ThinkPad X220, said to be one of the most legendary laptops of all time. It's an older machine and many people have discarded it because it cannot run modern Windows systems. Today we're going to install a modern, lightweight, and highly secure Linux distribution on it. The distribution we'll be using is SolydX 12. SolydX is the Xfce version of SolidXK, a stable Debian-based distribution that focuses on reliability, privacy, security, and low resource usage. It is ideal for older hardware, offering a familiar desktop experience and coming pre-installed with essential applications such as Firefox, Thunderbird, and LibreOffice. Furthermore, SolydX is an open-source alternative for small businesses and home users, emphasizing out-of-the-box stability and security. By the end of the video, this 15-year-old laptop will be running smoothly and securely once again, fully capable of handling everyday web browsing, office work, and light programming tasks, and it will still be fully functional even in 2026. Right then, let's get started. The first step is to download the SolydX 12 ISO file. For this step, you will need a fully functional computer with an internet connection. Open your web browser, search for SolydXK on Google, and visit the official SolydXK website. The address is solydxk.com. That's solydxk.com. At the top of the homepage, you will see a navigation bar. Click on Download. On the SolydX download page, you will see that there are several versions and editions available. We need to locate SolydX. You can either click ISO to start the download straight away, or select the mirror server that suits you best. On the SolydX download page, you will see the SolydX 12 ISO file. Click the download link and the file will begin downloading automatically. The ISO file is approximately 1.8 GB in size, so please be patient. Whilst it is downloading, you might like to have a cup of coffee or check the BIOS settings on your ThinkPad X220. Once downloaded, it is advisable to verify the integrity of the ISO file using the provided MD5 or SHA256 checksums. This ensures the file has not been corrupted during the download process. You will usually find instructions for this next to the SolydX download button. Once you have obtained the ISO file, you will need to create a bootable USB drive. This will serve as your installation medium. To do this, I strongly recommend using the Rufus tool on Windows, or the Balena Etcher tool on Windows, macOS, or Linux. Both tools are free, open source, and very easy to use. Once you have downloaded the SolydX 12 ISO file and installed Etcher, insert your USB drive. When you open Etcher, the interface is very straightforward. 3 steps will be displayed on the screen. Step 1. Flash from file. Click this button, navigate to the location where you saved the SolydX 12 ISO file, and select it. Step 2. Select Target. Insert the USB drive into your computer, then click Select Target. Etcher will display the available drives. Be very careful to select your USB drive and not any other drive. Etcher helpfully labels the drives, showing their capacity and name, which helps to avoid selecting the wrong one. However, you should still double-check carefully. Step 3. Flash. Once you have confirmed the ISO file and the target drive, click the Flash button. Etcher will prompt you to enter administrator or sudo credentials. This is normal, as writing to the drive requires higher privileges. Enter your password and confirm. This process may take a few minutes, depending on the speed of your USB drive. You will see a progress bar. Please do not remove the USB drive or close the Etcher program whilst this is in progress. Once the writing process is complete, Etcher will automatically run a verification step, reading the contents it has just written to ensure they match the source file. This serves as a further integrity check. Upon completion, you will receive a confirmation message. Do not format the USB drive once this is finished. Simply eject it safely. Once the SolydX 12 USB boot drive has been created, we insert it into the ThinkPad X220. Switch on the ThinkPad X220. As soon as the ThinkPad logo appears on the screen, press the F1 key repeatedly to enter the BIOS setup. In the BIOS setup, use the arrow keys to navigate to startup. First, press the F9 key to restore the default settings. Next, we select UEFI Legacy Boot Priority and set it to UEFI only. After that, we press the F10 key to save and exit. The ThinkPad X220 will then restart. When the ThinkPad boot screen appears again, we press the F12 key to enter the boot menu. In the boot menu, we select to boot from the USB HDD and press enter to confirm our selection. We have now reached the SolydX boot menu. Here we can see that there are several options available, but to ensure a smooth standard installation on older hardware, the default option is usually the best choice. So the first option, Start SolydX, is the one we want. Select it and press the Enter key to confirm your choice. Our ThinkPad 220 laptop will boot directly from the USB drive into the fully featured SolydX live desktop, which runs entirely from the USB drive without accessing our internal hard drive. Even on older hardware such as the ThinkPad X220, SolydX boots up quite quickly. It took about a minute. We were then taken to the SolydX Xfce live desktop. That's it. This is the SolydX Xfce desktop environment. The desktop is very clean. Whether using a dark or light theme, it looks quite elegant. The wallpaper is simple and tasteful. There are very few distracting elements. The desktop layout is also quite traditional. The bottom panel contains the taskbar, system tray, and application launcher. In this live desktop environment of SolydX, you can test whether all the hardware on your ThinkPad X220 is working properly. For example, Wi-Fi, audio, the touchpad, the keyboard, and USB ports. This is your chance to spot any compatibility issues before installation. You can also use the live environment to access your existing drives. If you haven't yet wiped the data, you can copy any files you need, although you should have already backed them up. Within the SolydX live desktop, you can also test or try out the operating system's various features. All of this ensures that SolydX is compatible with your ThinkPad X220's hardware before installation. If the tests go smoothly, we can start the installation. On the SolydX live desktop, you will see an icon labeled Install SolydX. Double-click it to launch the installer. The SolydX installer is based on the Calamares framework, a graphical installer, with a clean interface and intuitive operation. It is generally very stable and reliable, and is used by many Linux distributions. It will guide us step by step through the entire installation process. Step 1. Set your preferred language. This is usually set to your preferred language by default, but you can scroll through the list and select any language you prefer. This determines the display language of the installer interface and, more importantly, will automatically configure the system's regional settings, keyboard layout, and some system prompts. Click Next to continue. Step 2. Set your location. Click on your region on the map, or select your continent from the drop-down menu, then choose your city or region. This will set your location and time zone, ensuring that your clock is always correct. Click Next to continue. Step 3. Set your keyboard layout. You can also test your keyboard layout in the text box provided. Here I have selected the US English keyboard layout, so unless you are using a different layout, please select this one. Click Next to continue. Step 4. Partitioning. This is the most crucial step. For most users, particularly if you wish to make SolydX your sole operating system, or if you are prepared to erase everything on the ThinkPad X220's hard drive, please select Erase Disk. This is the simplest option and is strongly recommended for most users installing SolydX as their sole operating system. It will erase your entire hard drive and automatically create the necessary partitions. If you choose this option, please ensure you have backed up your data. Click Next to continue. Step 5. Create your user account. Enter your name, username, computer name, and password. Here you can also tick the boxes to require a strong password, log in automatically without entering a password, and set the administrator account to use the same password as the user. Be sure to remember your password, as you will need it to log into the system and perform administrative tasks in future. Click Next to continue. Step 6. Review your installation summary. The installer now displays a summary of everything we have configured, including language, location, keyboard layout, partition scheme, and user accounts. Please read through this carefully. Pay particular attention to the partition section. Ensure that the correct hard drive is selected and that the partition layout appears correct. If you spot any errors, click the back button to return and make corrections. If everything looks correct, click Install. Step 7. The system begins installation. During this time, the installer will copy files, install the system, and configure everything. The installer will copy files from the USB drive to the hard drive, install the bootloader, and configure the system. On this ThinkPad X220 laptop, the SolydX installation process actually took around 6 minutes. During this time, you will see a progress bar and various messages explaining what is happening at each stage, as well as slides about SolydX. You do not need to do anything at this stage. Step 8. Installation complete. The installer informs us that SolydX has been successfully installed. We can now choose to restart and boot into the new system, or continue using the SolydX live environment. We will now click Done to restart the computer and apply the new operating system. Once the screen goes black during the restart, you must remove the USB installation media. This is crucial to ensure your ThinkPad X220 does not attempt to boot from the USB again. We can now see the SolidX Gun Grub menu counting down. It will boot us into a freshly installed SolidX. Welcome to your newly installed SolidX desktop system. A machine that may have been running slowly due to years of Windows updates is now running a clean, efficient, and modern Linux systems. The desktop should load quickly, the icons should be crisp and clear, and everything should be responsive. The taskbar is at the bottom. You'll see the application menu on the left, the taskbar displaying running applications in the middle, and the system tray on the right, which contains the clock, network, volume, and other indicators. After booting up for the first time, the first screen we see is SolydXK Welcome, which provides us with a list of recommended software. Let's take a moment to browse through it. The first recommendation from SolydXK Welcome is LibreOffice. SolydXK comes pre-installed with a lightweight version of the LibreOffice suite. However, if you are missing any other software packages, you can install them here. The third category is Multimedia Applications. Here, SolydXK recommends a list of applications suitable for home users. These include the image processing program GIMP, the open-source vector graphics editor Inkscape, the personal photo management and design tool Shotwell, the music library management tool Clementine, the video conversion tool Handbrake, the audio file converter Sound Converter, the video editor PTV, and the cross-platform BitTorrent client transmission. The fourth category is system applications. This includes the open-source antivirus engine ClamAV, the versatile, full-featured virtualization software VirtualBox, the cross-platform FTP client FileZilla, the network transfer protocol software Samba, and CSS. The fifth category is games. This includes the open gaming platforms Lutris and Steam. The sixth and final category is Play on Linux. .lidxk comes with a wide variety of software. If you cannot find suitable software in the SolidXK software repositories and need to use MS Windows software, you can install it via Play on Linux. Next, whilst we explore SolidX, let's have a brief chat about it, as I believe it is an underrated option for breathing new life into old hardware. SolidX is one of two desktop versions developed by the SolidXK project, the other being SolidK, which uses the KDE Plasma desktop environment. SolidX, on the other hand, uses Xfce, a lightweight desktop environment. Xfce doesn't feature many flashy animations or complex visual effects, but what it lacks in visual flair, it makes up for in speed and low memory usage. SolydX is based on Debian, specifically the stable branch, which means we get an extremely stable foundation with no significant changes between version updates. This is crucial for older laptops, as what you need is an operating system that works straight out of the box, rather than one that requires a lot of effort to deal with every update. So, what does this mean for a machine like the ThinkPad X220? Depending on the configuration, the ThinkPad X220 is typically equipped with a second-generation Sandy Bridge dual-core Intel Core i5 or i7 processor, between 4 and 16 gigabytes of RAM, and either a traditional mechanical hard drive or an upgraded solid-state drive. By today's standards, this machine is not particularly powerful. Many mainstream operating systems, such as Windows 11, simply cannot be installed on this hardware. Even if a workaround is found, they will run extremely slowly. This is where lightweight Linux distributions come into their own. Because SolydX uses Xfce and is built on the efficient, streamlined Debian base, it runs smoothly on this hardware, restoring a truly usable and responsive desktop experience to the laptop. There are several other lightweight options available, such as Linux Mint Xfce Edition, MX Linux, Anti-X, or Lubuntu. I've chosen SolydX as the subject of this video because it strikes a good balance. It's lighter than systems such as Linux Mint, yet more feature-rich and beginner-friendly than minimalist distributions like Anti-X. Furthermore, it comes pre-installed with a selection of carefully chosen applications, so our system won't be completely bare after installation. One further point worth mentioning is that certain versions of SolydX support both 32-bit and 64-bit systems, which has historically made it very popular for older machines. Specifically, as the X220 is equipped with a 64-bit capable processor, we are using the 64-bit version of SolydX12 in this video. Next, let's take a quick look back at the ThinkPad X220. Launched in 2011, the ThinkPad X220 was part of Lenovo's ThinkPad X series, which has always been the ultra-portable lineup within the ThinkPad range. In terms of processors, these devices are typically equipped with second-generation Intel Core processors. Available models include the i3-2310M, i5-2410M, i5-2520M, or i7-2620M, and i7-2640M, depending on the configuration. These are all dual-core chips, some of which support hyper-threading technology, with clock speeds ranging from approximately 2.1 to 2.8 GHz. In terms of memory, the X220 has two SODIMM slots supporting DDR3 memory, with an officially supported maximum capacity of 8 GB. Although many users have successfully upgraded these machines to 16 GB, depending on the specific memory controller and BIOS version. For storage, the X220 uses a standard 2.5-inch SATA interface, which was a major advantage of ThinkPads from that era. Upgrading is extremely straightforward. If your device still uses the original mechanical hard drive, I strongly recommend replacing it with a SATA solid-state drive. Without a doubt, this is the biggest performance boost you can achieve on hardware from this era, and the improvement it brings far exceeds any other optimization we've covered in our videos. In terms of connectivity, the X220 is equipped with USB 2.0 ports, an SD card reader, a VGA output port, and, depending on the model, a mini DisplayPort. Wireless networking is typically handled by an Intel Centrino network card, which has excellent Linux driver support, meaning most devices will have Wi-Fi working straight out of the box. One point to note, some enterprise-configured X220 models have a whitelist in their BIOS that only permits the installation of specific wireless network adapters. If you have replaced the original Wi-Fi adapter with a different one and your laptop fails to boot, displaying the message error 1802. Unauthorized network adapter, you will need to reinstall the original adapter or flash a modified BIOS to remove the whitelist. I'll cover this in the instructions, but for most viewers of this video, Your original Wi-Fi adapter should already be installed, so you won't encounter this issue. In terms of the display, the X220 offers a choice of two panels, a standard 1366 by 768 TN panel, or a higher quality 1366 by 768 IPS panel. Both are fully compatible with SolydX, as the Intel integrated graphics on this chipset are extremely well supported by the Linux kernel. If your ThinkPad X220 laptop has been gathering dust in a drawer for several years, do give SolydX 12 a try. It is undoubtedly one of the best ways to breathe new life into it, whether as a lightweight writing machine, a laptop for browsing and checking emails, or even as a small home server project in the future. Have you ever installed Linux on a ThinkPad X220? Have you installed SolydX on an old laptop? Which old machine have you brought back to life with Linux? Please leave a comment below to let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out the show notes. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.